Good morning. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. I am Debbie G. That was the beautiful, the gorgeous, talented La Diva. Please visit ladiva.com and support our artist. She is spectacular. It's time for a Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression into Squirts of Reality. I have an exceptional co-squirt today. Today is going to be all about trusting your abundance. And the person who's coming on, she's been on before. You guys know her very well, Kerry King. Kerry is an extraordinary individual. She's an author. She's a co-creator. She's a Tya extraordinaire. She's a whole lot of things, but what she's really good at is manifesting some cool stuff, man. She has recently landed and found herself in Belize, and we're going to find out how that the law of attraction works in her life and how in the world did you wind up in Belize? Good morning, Carrie.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. I'm honored to be on with you. Always, it's always a pleasure and always exciting. I love you so much. So thank you. What an introduction. Wow. Okay.
Well, you've written two books, girl. What's up?
Well, book two's in the making. Yeah, book two. I wrote book two right after I finished my first book. And randomly, it was I'm allowing the magic to unfold when I write my books, and it led me to Belize. And I knew nothing about this country. I just found out there was my books are fiction, but they're based on real places, like the Mayan ruins. And I discovered there's a cave in Belize that
What?
houses a crystal maiden. She's called the Crystal Maiden. And
Really?
yeah, so my
Okay.
fiction's about searching for the crystal skulls. So in my research, because I like to be as authentic about the places that the characters in the book visit.
Mhm.
So I was researching and reading about this lovely country. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd end up here. So in all that research, I wrote my
Yeah.
second book and then ended up coming here and didn't know there were islands off the coast of Belize and ended up coming to an island, fell in love within the day two, and ended up deciding to move here permanently, or not permanently, nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent.
Not even the word permanent.
Right. I can't even say it.
Okay, so that's like serious. That's rad.
So I have to rewrite some of the story because the vibration of this place is very Taya centric, is all I can say. It's a magical place. The people are magical. The people are just so lovely and refreshing. And I've traveled many places. I haven't traveled the whole world, but I've traveled many places.
Mhm.
And their culture is so lovely. They're so kind and caring, and they want you to have an experience. They're not all about the tourism. And yes, there is tourism here, and that's how they make their money. But they really want to know you. They really want to know your journey and about you, and the help and the kindness that I have discovered here is just off the charts.
Okay.
The
I'm just so excited about this. And Joe says, "Good morning, Carrie."
Good morning.
Uh,
Well,
one question. Wants to know when the room is ready.
oh, the room is always ready.
Room is always well. I'm always ready too. So I just know that you know what I'm waiting on is my passport. You know why? Okay, that's a whole thing. It's a crack I
Yes.
carry. I've never had one, and I it's a name change. It's a name change thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hilarious. So I've just it's coming. And good morning to see Michael May. Megan,
Yes.
good morning. See Megan Michael. I said it wrong. She's an
Oh,
extraordinary. She's
I love
so
her.
cool. I know,
She's
right?
cool.
Seriously.
Good morning,
Absolutely.
darling.
And
Yes.
everybody else who's on, say good morning. Where are you calling in from? What questions do you have? Who's been to Belize? Who knows what Tya means? I'm going to ask the audience. I want to know, does anybody know? I'm going to hide the answer.
Mm,
I'm hiding the answer. Anybody know what TYA means? Anybody out there?
anybody out there? It's funny when I have it
Might get it.
tattooed
You get
on
a,
my body, and I get often questions. Some people will ask, "What does that mean to you?" And then others will say what they think it means, and
yeah.
it's very. I should start writing down the versions because it's quite interesting on the what people come up with.
Seriously. Okay, so you scored. Trust your abundance.
Yay, she got it right.
Trust your abundance. So,
Yes, and the latest from the stream was we did a live summit not too long ago, and it was Return to Trust. And I love
return to trust.
Return to Trust. And the stream said it 3 times, and then they said it several times throughout the summit. Return to trust. And when I say that, it automatically feels like that allowing space, that quiet space that we as humans, I think, all strive to get to. And often I'm asked, how do you quiet your mind? How do you meditate? And just that saying that to myself and taking that breath, return to trust. It just seats in your soul. It's so beautiful. So I love that addition to Tya. Trust your
Oh.
abundance. And then when you're not trusting your abundance, return to your trust.
Mm.
It's really that simple.
Okay, Kerry. But
Yeah.
let's unpack this because look, they here, Willis.
Questions. Go.
Yeah, there. Okay, so what comes up for me right now is the word trust in itself, and I know in our human ego, the word trust is such a. It's an interesting concept. You know, it's not the same as the trust of your ego. It's not that kind of trust. Can you describe what this trust is?
Yeah. For
I mean, you
me,
were kind of going there, but
yes. And for me, it's when you know something so deeply. It's that inner knowing. It's the connection to source. It's we've heard it. Trust your gut. Trust your instincts. Trust your because the ego is lovely and we need that as a human, but it can often lead us to the wrong place because of the ego playing the doubt. What if? And it's always thinking past or thinking future. So trust to me is being right here physically, fiercely present, trusting that the answers will come if they're needed, and that I'm safe always, and that it always works out. When you look back, even in the worst scenario that you can imagine in your mind, right? A trauma that happened when you were young or whatever, we're still here. I'm still here. So it did work out. It may not have worked out to what I thought it should, but it worked out. And so similar to my move here to Belize,
mhm.
this isn't where I plan to move. This isn't the island I had decided on. I had a whole different plan, but it just kind of unfolded and I just trusted that. And I think it goes hand in hand with faith. When I was raised Christian, and there's so much similarities in the Christianity with,
I gotta agree with you.
yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah, totally.
have faith. My mom used to say, well, if you've prayed about it, have faith. You don't need to keep praying about the same thing over and over, and you don't need to worry about it because you've prayed about it. You gave it over to God. Have faith that
Right.
He's working miracles in your life. It's the same concept to me. Although
It's
now,
the same concept. Yeah.
yeah, I am more of the Tya mindset, which is a more non-judgmental, open way of connecting to God's source, whatever you choose to call it.
Mm.
Um, the creator of everything, us,
Yes.
world. Yeah.
Well,
You know,
I'm in so much alignment with this, and so is the audience, which I'm just loving, and I love this Facebook user, whoever you are, I love you. Trusting the inner, your inner you brings a feeling of peace over and over. Agree.
yes.
And Gwari, thank you. She very much they needed to hear this right now. And Deb, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. In Tya mindset, we learn to discover what is source or what is flowing through us and the knowing or the trusting versus what is our ego, what is our human ego. And in that, it is when you remove fear and judgment and you are at peace. I love what you said, Facebook user. Wish we knew
Thank
who
you,
you
Facebook
were.
user.
Thank you, Facebook user, because
Well,
that's so true. It's that inner peaceful knowing that, yes, this is the right place that I'm supposed to be at this moment. And
yes.
it's all, I love that. I forget who says that, but there's a song by, oh, they sing Mercy Me. I, I can't remember, but all is well with my soul. I love that song because that's the trust. All is well.
All is well with my soul. You guys, can you type that in the chat? All is well with my soul. I need to hear that right now. All is well with my soul. Now let's
Yeah.
talk about some stories. See, because
Some
listen. I'll tell you. I
listen.
got now. We both have a house story I want to talk about because let me tell you, attachments to the outcome have never served me except to show me that I'm not letting go. Thank you for typing it in. Woo, you guys rock my world. Check you out. Ooh, ooh. Thank you, Janine. I look who's here. Like I can't even get over this right now. I just can't. We got our Taya people in the
All
house. Thank
our,
you, and Kimberly. Woo.
oh, I love you guys. All our friends. Hi,
Mm.
friends.
I- We love you guys. As you choose to trust the foundation, confidence, trusting gets stronger within the within self.
Mm,
Absolutely, 100%. I'm in alignment with that too. So here's the thing. I'm not going to get in a whole. You guys kind of know my backstory. You've been watching me go through this for the how many years now? Just it's all out there on social media. But I will talk about some of it because I seriously want to make an impact with you guys here. I want to talk about what practice does for your life. See, the thing is that we can all be exposed to whatever. You can sit here and you can listen to Kerry and I talk about these extraordinary experiences we have, and you're about to hear how in the heck she even wound up in Belize. How did she sell her house in Texas? What did that look like? But I'm going to promise you this: if you're not practicing, if you don't continue to practice, you're going to be doing the same thing you were doing before you started the practice. And here's why: because you won't have built a new pattern. You wouldn't have overridden those neuroplasticity brain waves that are stuck on. I'm not going to stay stuck on stupid, but I am. I just said it, didn't I?
yeah,
I
always the hamster wheel.
the hamster wheel. Maybe hammering at yourself.
Yeah.
No, but it's not really. It's I was stuck on stupid, even though I know you guys. That's not a put down to myself. In other words, what I mean by that is exactly what it sounds like. I kept doing the same thing over and over and thinking I'm supposed to be getting a different result. And I never got a different result. And I'm like, why? And then this thing comes along called David Strickle, this practice comes along called Ty. David, you're gonna kill. David, you're not a thing. I love you, David.
We love you, David.
Looky here, David. We love you. David comes along. This thing he comes along called Tya Practice, and I wasn't living my life until Tya, trusting my abundance. My heart and soul shining. All is well with my soul. Heck yes. But it
Yes.
comes along and there's this practice and all of a sudden life changes, but you have to use it. And we're going to give you a couple of little goodies today and tools from Tya that you can actually implement in your morning today. So stick with us right now. Don't go anywhere. Type questions into the chat. Throw something out there to us and challenge us. Challenge our practice. Challenge our mindset. Challenge our perspectives. Let's see. Let's crack open the egg.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
So
we learn from each other always. There's no
totally.
feeling. There's never, oh, I've got this learned and I know it all. No, it's
Mhm.
life is an experience. And I learn so much when our new boot campers come in. Learn from their view and their perspective. Every single time I have this huge aha moment, I go, I see it differently now. I see it more clear. It's amazing how it works. It truly is. It just, and we need the community. So thank you all for joining us.
I love you guys. We love
Yeah,
community.
I do.
So, Kerry, when we met, you were selling a house in Texas.
Yes, I do.
You were packing that thing for a minute. I mean, this was a big undertaking in your life. Talk to me about Tya when you first started and also about what was selling the house like.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So, um, before I was selling my house, I got into boot camp because I I was traveling. I was a medical device sales, and I was traveling all over the state of Texas, which is huge. And I would come home on the weekends. And my mother lived in a little house next to mine on my property in Texas. And she was great. She was doing fine. And long story short, I started noticing changes and realized I needed to be home with her. So I left my job, came home, and I was searching for doing something online. And I wanted to incorporate something spiritual. I wanted to give back. I felt that my life was pretty blessed and was, I thought at the time, pretty great. However, I realized that I did stay on the hamster wheel of just enough. I'd get a raise and then boom, right?
Yep.
I'd think, oh, I'm going to have all this extra money. And then sure enough, stuff showed up. I didn't have extra money. So it was constant. And I knew there was more. So I went on this journey, ended up meeting David in another spiritual class on how to create an online class.
Yeah.
So listening to him was more interesting. No offense to the teacher of the other class, which I love. And I'm so grateful because I did learn a lot. I did learn a lot about
But I
technology.
gotta say, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. But listen, y'all, I met David in person in Palm Springs when I was doing an event there, and it was like this, Carrie. I'm in one end of the room, and I turn and I see this good-looking man across the way sitting there next to somebody, and I'm thinking, God, he's just adorable. And David,
He
he
is
knows he's hot. He is just,
and he just that kindness and that authentic
yeah, just the energy. And I
his
was like,
energy
yeah,
is yeah, it's like a big
totally.
hug. It
So there's
just
no, yeah,
so anyway,
yeah,
fast
yeah.
forward.
Just so y'all understand that David's not just like he's got this warm, sweet.
Uh,
He's like a warm cinnamon.
yeah, exactly.
Just so
Excited.
you know, David. David, you're like a warm cinnamon. We love you. Tya, trust your abundance.
So I ended up enrolling in his boot camp and discovered so many things about myself, the missing piece that I had always been seeking in my own spiritual journey. So then, fast forward, now I'm taking care of my mom and I'm going through boot camp and discovering all these cool things. And the pandemic hits. So I helped my mom cross over, for lack of a better word. She went on to the next journey and it was lovely and beautiful and peaceful thanks to Tya. And it opened up the conversation with my mom about she was becoming very, very fearful of her death experience. We knew it was coming. And I was able to share the Tya tools and the mindset and the beauty and the love and the non-judgment and the no fear. And her passing was absolutely beautiful. And I'm so grateful that I got to sit there. I was on one side, my daughter was on the other, holding her hand, laughing and singing and just relishing in the fact of really how beautiful the death experience is, because we're all going to die. And so it doesn't have to be that fearful thing. So fast forward. Okay, now I'm in
Well, let's just sit with that for 1 second, because I want you all to listen to how she's handling grief. She was using Taya tools to handle grief, and I mean, it's just an amazing thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, keep going. I just love that.
What was so amazing to me was that because of that, I was able to help my mother not be afraid and um, not fight against it, and to really know that she was safe and she was returning to just pure positive love and light, and to see that transition before your very eyes was absolutely phenomenal. If that is the only gift I ever got out of Taya, I would be forever grateful. But it just keeps getting better. So my house was up for sale. The pandemic hits. Now nobody's coming and looking, right? So almost a year and a half of packing, and I had an estate sale and sold my mom's stuff. And so I was ready to go in this empty big house that I had, and the pandemic hits. So long story short, my daughter ended up moving back home because of losing a job and those kind of things. So I also had the gift of getting to live with my adult child. As you well know, Debbie, that's a whole new experience.
Oh,
And
it's
again,
a whole new experience, yeah, because
yeah.
they're the babies, but they're not the
Mhm.
babies. What
Oh
the
yeah.
heck?
And
What?
that,
Who made up that rule?
right, right. And
Interesting.
we had to set boundaries and guidelines because she was a grown woman and I was used to my independence and she was used to hers. And fortunately, we have a good relationship to start with. But I'll tell you again, my Taya mindset of allowing her to have her own experience without judgment, without the need to tell her, oh, you should do it this way or you should do it this way. We grew so close and had so much fun during the pandemic, which sounds crazy, right? Because everybody was in fear and oh my God, we were having,
It doesn't sound too crazy.
it does, well, to you, yeah, no, but it doesn't have to be crazy. We enjoyed the experience.
So the communication is key.
Mhm.
But hmm,
It sure is. So then
yeah,
we had long conversations because I had built this home as my forever home with the intention that mom would live in the casita. And then when she moved on, I would live in the casita and my kids would take over the big house, one of them or both of them, however they wanted to do it. And then we had plenty of acreage to build another house if they so choose.
I really love this idea.
Yeah, it was, we thought it was great at the time. And life happens. My son is in Chicago. He met a lovely lady, got married in September, and she's adorable and they're so happy. And they love, they love living close to Chicago. My daughter's fiance got a wonderful scholarship to law school in Seattle. And so she's moved to Seattle, and neither one really wanted the Texas property. So I thought, well, I've always wanted to live on an island, so I'm going to go find an island to live on. Um, so my daughter and I, looking at, as I said, never even knew Belize had islands. I truly didn't. I always thought of Belize as the country and the mainland and in Central America, which has amazing jungles and what
Oh,
around caves.
I can't either. There's like jungles. There are really jungles there.
Yes.
Seriously? Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm just dying. Are you all dying? I'm curious. Listen, I just want to interrupt really quick. All of you are on. We have a great audience right now.
I know.
I actually have. I'm going to do 5 minutes of seeing through the eyes of source, which is a meditation. I'm only going to do 5 minutes. It's a 13-minute meditation, so we're not going to do the whole thing, just so that you can get a taste of it. Then you're going to go over and join our Patreon community, which is in the chat. You can join. What's the lowest level you can join for?
Um, Ooh, Debbie, you're
I think
asking.
it's $25. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
it's 10. 10 gives you the podcast
Oh, 10.
and the extended, but
Yeah.
we recommend, especially for boot campers, $25 tier, because that gives you a lot of the community and the extras and things. But it's all listed in the Patreon. But you can also just follow us. It's on there. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, I'm
Daily,
looking right now. It's
and
10, yeah, 10, 25, and 50, you guys. It's not a big deal. But but I am going to give you a taste of what it's like behind the scenes with the meditation in the Tya boot camp. I want you all to get a feel for the energy. So anyway, let's go back to
yeah,
this. Okay, because we're in the jungle right now.
yes, and
Welcome to the jungle.
yes. So long story short, the world starts opening up. My very dear friend in Texas is a realtor, and so she listed my house again, and it sold very quickly because I stopped needing it to sell. That was the big kicker for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it right there. You guys, she just gave you the biggest golden nugget of your life.
I was
She just did it.
so in the needed to sell because I wanted out. My kids didn't want it. My mom had passed. I thought, I got this, a lot of land, a lot of house. It's just me taking care of all this. And, and then the pandemic hit, which left me not working. And I'd always worked my whole life, had my own company. And so a bit scary, right? But when I started taking fear out and thought, I'm meant to be here. And then, as I said, the pandemic hit and I had the freedom because I lived way out in the country to walk and go down to the river. And I got my crazy dog, Luna, as a puppy, and she was very full of energy. So I would take these super long walks with her and she would swim in the pond and then we'd go down to the river and we'd run, and just being immersed in nature and watching nature, it came to me that I was right where I was supposed to be. And if I would just enjoy that experience, it would all work out. Well, sure enough, it did.
Hot
Because
damn.
I got in that vibe of just enjoying where I was in the moment. My house sold. They wanted a quick close. I had to be out in 15 days.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out.
So whirlwind of, and a little backstory. When my daughter moved in, she's like, we can't live in this empty house. So we bought all new furniture, and she had an office and I had an office because we were both working from home. I got my dream job, which is working with David Strickles. So that all happened. And so I bought new office furniture and I decorated my office. Well, sure enough, boom, the house sells. So, hey, I had a sale, and what didn't sell, I gave to people who needed it. And that felt so good. And quick sell. So now I have nowhere to go. So my lovely realtor friend is adorable, and her husband allowed me to come and stay in their house. So we closed, and that night she and her husband were telling me they had been on a cruise before the pandemic, and they took this little catamaran to an island off the coast of Belize. And it's a little town called San Pedro. And they were telling me all about it. And I was like, well, I want to go. Let's go. And we found out it was open. The borders were open, which was one of the first countries to do so, that we could go from the US. So midnight at my friend's house, I'm on my phone looking for Airbnb. She's on her phone looking for flights.
Right.
We could go the next day. So
Get
we
the
both said, book
God,
it.
I'm tripping. Y'all just you look the nuggets in here are crazy. You
Yeah,
lost the need. You didn't have the need for the need. You gone.
yeah.
And then the most important part of all was talking about be in the here and the now. Because if you're
Yes.
appreciating what is,
Appreciation. That's yes.
if
Where
you
you
love what is,
are in the moment, where you are in
even
this.
when it pisses you off and it sucks.
Oh, and even if shit is flying around you and dropping on you, and you know, and it feels like it's all falling apart or blowing up, just sit, enjoy that experience because it's really only a moment. And the more you do, the more you experience it and really are present with it, the more the it unfolds into this beautiful journey. And as I said, we were looking at our schedules, and it ended up we both could go that next day. So off we went to Belize. Literally, we both had small bags, and off we went. We found this lovely Airbnb. Um, we got here. I think it was a Monday, no, a Tuesday. I think I can't remember. Anyway, got here, drove around, having a ball, fell in love with the island. We contacted a realtor, and he didn't answer. And so we were like, oh, well, it's meant to be or whatever. So he answered us finally the next day, which is very Belizean, very unlike the US.
Very Belizean.
He said, sure, I'll show you around. So started showing us around. And
Uh-huh.
um, long story short, I'm not finding anything. So it's Friday. We're out to lunch. He took us out to lunch at this lovely, everything's on the water, of course. And
Yeah, yeah.
we're sitting at this lovely restaurant out on the water on a dock. And he says, so what are your must-haves? Give me your top 3 must-have. Because we weren't finding anything and we were leaving on Saturday. And so I told him, and he's like, okay. And I thought at first, I'm just like, oh, I wanted to be here so bad. And then I thought, no, I'll just have to come back. Right. So
Yep.
he said, why don't you two take a walk down the pier? There's this beautiful sailboat had come in. So my friend and I walked down, and we're looking at the sailboat, and I just was looking out at lovely Caribbean Sea. And I thought, oh, it's so lovely here. I'll just come back. Or I'll go to another island. It's okay. Enjoying the experience, appreciating it. We walked back, and he said, I just found a condo that I think would be perfect for you, but it's not built yet. Do you want to go see it? I said, yes. So we came, I saw it. I saw the property, but
Mhm.
this specific unit was not built yet. I mean,
Uh-huh.
the walls were up, but not the inside. I put an offer, they accepted, and I left here buying a condo and called my kids. I said, because I hadn't even told them that we took off. I said, oh, by the way, I'm in Belize and I bought a condo and I'm moving here. And my kids were like, yes, when can we come? And really, that's the story. And then, it was supposed to be ready in November. And I ended up going back home and deciding that I couldn't wait to be here. So I came here and stayed in a long-term rental. And it wasn't ready till February. And that was okay because I was already here on the island and just really loving and experiencing it all. And so I got to move in February. So, Joe, your room is ready. I don't have furniture yet, but I have a pull-out couch and I have my bed. So you're welcome to come anytime, Joe.
I love that. I think
Only
that's
to bring Debbie, though.
I we know that. We do know that. I go everywhere. I go
That's
everywhere. I
yeah.
love an adventure. Life is an adventure. You're supposed to be having fun. We're
Mhm.
supposed to be having fun. Today is your day to begin to have fun. So Kimberly said she wants to thank you for this conversation because she's walking. my aunt home, and she doesn't want to go to the doctors. It's making me crazy. In just this short time, I realize she's realizing she has to respect her wishes, love her, and just make each day count.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And you know,
Yeah.
I was, it's amazing when you get in the vibration of trust. And so I did take my mom to the hospital. She did want to be at home, but we didn't know it was the end at that time. And she
Okay.
was struggling. So I took her to the hospital and they did admit her. But fortunately, I met the most lovely doctor at the hospital. So I forget what they're called, but they kind of oversee, because they, you know, they talk to your person's doctor, but they kind of oversee the hospital end of it. So she sat with me, and beautiful, beautiful lady, and she held my hand and she said, "It's time, and I would like to stop all medicine, all treatment." And I was so grateful for that,
Yeah, yeah,
because
for sure.
it's hard to know that for someone else. And I was so grateful because that night my mom had had a really rough night, and they were trying to give her a breathing treatment and it scared her. And finally I told the guy, I was like,
Mm.
no, enough, enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, she doesn't understand what you're trying to do, and you're putting this over her face. And she was freaking out. I said, no, enough, you know. And so when that doctor came in and validated that it was time and to let her go peacefully and off all medication, and they were going to allow me to take her home, which was lovely. But my mom had other plans. So um, she died in the hospital, which is fine. And like I said, yeah,
Yeah, that's
respecting
how yeah, I love that.
respecting their wishes, because it's their journey and it's their experience. And as much as we want to save them, we can't save them. We've got
Mm.
to allow their journey. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. That's lovely.
Um, and our beautiful Janine says that she's enjoyed the full story. And this is what she does. She helps people
Yes.
transition. Yeah, that is what you do. In fact, you know what? We need to have you on and really talk about what that experience
Yes.
is like. I was oopsie, I just dropped
I learned so much from you, Janine. Thank you for
I
sharing your
I
experience.
just yes, absolutely. And Joe says yay. Yay. Okay, so check it out. I was reading this story about how that they were doing this CAT scan or a MRI or something brain scan on somebody that was having seizures.
Oh,
And during the time that they were actually scanning, this person died. And they were on no resuscitation, no nothing. This is one of the few times in medical history that they've been able to capture the brain waves of a person who's just died. And
mm,
they, and it's an amazing story where they're talking about the the things that are firing off, the alpha, the gamma, the theta. They're watching they're watching this state in the brain happen, as it's just a trip. And what I thought was, because what it said is it's almost like it replays their entire life like that quick in the theta state. And I thought to myself, oh my God, is it downloading to the freaking like so it's in the freaking Akashic records and shit?
yes.
Like this experience is now dit, dit,
Now it's
uploaded. It's
upload.
in the cloud.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that a great way to think of that?
It's in the cloud.
Like, where is source, right? You can't see it. You can't
Well, where's the cloud? You can't see that either.
see it. It's not tangible, but yet we know
No.
it's there. It's part of us. It's inside of us. And that was a big one, a big ha-ha for me, Debbie, was we were, at least I was growing up programmed, it's out there, right? God's up there in heaven and universe is out there. And what I've discovered is it's not. It's in here. It's all in here. It's
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
within. And when
Mhm.
you go within, that's where the trust lies. That's where the knowing is. That's where the peace is. It's within. And all the outside stuff is just frosting. It's just the fun stuff. Just the
Uh,
experience you're having.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's
And
just an experience.
very interesting what you said about the brain waves and them being able to see that, because I saw that with my mom. I saw she was so tapped into the collective and
Yeah.
the things she was sharing, and her sense of humor, her core essence of her was so fully present in the death experience. It was her sense of humor and her love of the beach. There were two things that happened. My daughter and I were laughing because my daughter was singing and playing. We were playing the music my mom loves, and I could see my mom's little feet in underneath the covers, moving. And
Uh-huh.
I said, "Where are you, Mom?" And she said, "Oh, I'm walking on the beach in Hawaii." And I said, "Oh, that's lovely." And she said, "Oh, it is. And I can smell the ocean and feel the breeze." I mean, she was there because she was so tapped in to the collective. And as we know, we can create our own experiences, right?
That's right. Hmm.
So there. And then it was so cute because she said, "I don't see your dad. I thought he would be waiting for me." And I said, "Oh, he is. He's there." And I said, "So is, and I was naming her sisters and all the people that she loved that had gone before. I said, "They're all waiting for you." And she said, "Well, I don't see them." And I said, "Well, you will." And I said, "You know what they're going to say, Mom?" And she said, "No, what?" Now she's got her eyes closed and like she's really out of it, but she's communicating with us a little bit.
Uh-huh.
That they're going to say, "What the hell took you so long?" And she said, "No, they're not." And I said, "Really?" And she goes, "They're going to say, 'What the hell happened to your hair?'" Because during all of this, she had issues and a stroke, and all this stuff was going on with her. And they had her on medication, and she had this lovely, thick, curly red, that auburn hair, just beautiful hair. And it was all falling out. And
Mm.
so she couldn't get it to curl, but it was just, she was not happy with her hair. And so I love that. I mean, and this is in the moment, like she's close to passing on
Yeah.
to the next adventure, but she was so tapped in. That's what amazed me, is she was so tapped in and to the entire collective and what we should be doing here. She was enjoying the experience. She was on the beach, her favorite place, and she was in the moment. And just this peace in the room, the vibe. And so it really showed me clearly of how we are to allow others to have their experience, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. That is, what else are we going to do? And I am really good at saying, no, I want it this way. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
I can, we've known me long enough. I'm going to do it whatever way I'm going to do it. Right.
Mhm.
Doesn't necessarily mean I need anybody else to follow suit.
Yeah,
Just,
exactly.
but so, well, yeah, but I'm guilty of also not allowing life to just happen sometimes because I want I absolutely love this reminder today. Anybody else like this reminder today? To I think the song was live and live live and let live.
Oh, yeah. There's so much truth in words and songs and things we've heard in the past. And then it gets skewed. And one thing I love so much about you, Debbie, is your attention to words and the different meanings, because oftentimes our intention is different than the words we speak, which, like you said, communication is so key, because oftentimes we've hurt someone's feelings or we've miscommunicated. And I, again, have learned to not allow that in my life. If I've hurt somebody or there's a miscommunication and I'm feeling the vibe, I'm like, whoa, we need to discuss this, because clearly my words did not match my intention because I never intended to upset or hurt somebody. So I want to listen. I want to be present to hear their side, their story. And just sometimes in just that, of the quiet moment of listening, the problem resolves itself.
100%. I want to say that the importance of what you just said, the intention. What
Mm-hmm.
is your intention when you say something? Do you say what you mean and mean what you say? And I thank you. I appreciate your acknowledgement to how I communication is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get enough of input on how to do it better, because there this is something that that we do need to practice with intention every day. But you're on point with how that looks. If you say something to somebody and their butt hurt, but your intention was not to, you just struck their victim chord. Now, in my world, chances are I'm going to call your ass a wham ambulance and say, yo, I have a victim emergency butt hurt kit with your name all over it. And it's got some tissues for your issues, and it's got a hemorrhoidal pad for your butt hurt ass to sit on. This is what I do with me when I go into butt hurt zone. But the reason I say that and I bring some funny to it is, can we please laugh at ourselves for the victim person we become? I do it all the time. I
Oh,
need that. Oh my God. Anybody out there play the victim like full on,
oh
like
yeah.
full tilt boogie? I
And
do
it's okay.
have, and
Yeah, it's okay.
probably will again.
We're human. We have feelings.
Totally. So
We're,
laugh at yourself right now. Laugh. Because
and
really,
oftentimes,
oh my God.
right? Oftentimes, when you say something that triggers that friend or that loved one, oftentimes it's something to look at within yourself as well, right? Because a lot of
Well,
they
it's yes and
mirror.
no.
So, yeah.
Well, I kind of say yes and no. If I say something and somebody gets butthurt about it and my intentions are great, what I'm going to say is, I love how you're saying show up with empathy. What is real for them right now? What must be happening for them? How can I be understanding? I fully agree with that part. The part that I won't take is the personal part. When people decide to take things personally, that's not my issue. They need some tissue.
True.
That's not my issue. They need the tissue. Period. It is, we have a responsibility as a human race to start taking accountability for the stuff that we think is personal. And stop putting, I don't want to put my personal stuff the way that I feel over onto somebody else, because it's about me. If I get triggered about something, Joe is watching. Joe, if I get triggered about something, I'm going to say I'm triggered right now. In fact, when I get mad about it, I'll say I'm angry and I'm going to allow myself to be. And
Mhm.
if I'm triggered though, that's me. That's not his fault.
Oh gosh,
It's
no.
it's my gig, it's my thing. If I'm butthurt, I'm in the victim zone. I'm over there doing that. I need a way ambulance, and I definitely the emergency butthurt kit. I have a supply for. Actually, I've got the VIP kit. If you really want to know, the VIP kit. But yeah, so all of that said, because the fact is that your words are powerful. They're powerful, and I can get right up in my ego, and I can be a brat, Carrie. I can be a brat, honestly, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of the brat, but here's why.
Gee.
Oh shit. You know what?
Can't we all though? Can't we all? I think I don't know a human being on this earth that doesn't return to their 3-year-old man have a temper tantrum self. We're
I
human.
do. I
It's
do.
an emotion and it's okay to feel that emotion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And now I'm discovering that because I was the queen of bypassing and stuffing it down. And now I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
ooh, anger. Ooh, let's sit with this a little bit. Let me see. Why am I so angry? where is this coming from? And I need to sit with it and look around. And sometimes I want to be angry for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel the feeling. I'm supposed to be here to experience it. Do I want to spew my hate fire down on someone else? No, because that gets ugly.
It
Point in.
does get ugly.
But do I want to feel it? I do.
Yep.
Because nothing wrong with being angry. There's nothing wrong with feeling hurt. As you said, get your tissues out. Have that good cry. It's a lovely experience. But move on from it. That's the key, right?
That's right.
On from it. If you stay in that anger mode and repeat and repeat and rinse and repeat, how is that serving you?
Well, here the only time it's going to serve is when I'm willing to be not only aware but accountable and to look at, okay, why is this happening, and ask myself what's up, buttercup, and just sit, okay, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And here's what I'm being shown as you were talking. I saw this vision of, doesn't matter what the if it's anger, if it's depression, if it's silence, if it's whatever, if there's a conflict happening, imagine imagine that all of it falls away, and inside is just that human who really just wants love. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, just love. Nothing else. Just wants that connection, just wants the love, but doesn't know how to say that. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
get so I get so attached to the way that I think somebody needs to understand me, and maybe what I need to lose is my attachment to somebody understanding me.
Yes, absolutely.
If that makes any sense at all.
It
Hey, I
does.
want to I want to jump over here really quickly and recognize and appreciate our Facebook user, and I think I don't appreciation to you and Kimberly. And Joe says, you have such a sweet soul, Carrie. Thank you for sharing experiences. I agree. I
Thank you.
agree. Deb and I will be there soon. We are coming soon. He's a pro victim. We both are. I love that. We rock that really well. Like, we've got more Grammys coming. So, yeah, there is a lot of truth in this. And Ellen Weiss, what is the method they're sharing about? What is Tya? I Tya is Trust Your Abundance. We have a Patreon community. It starts at $10, but I'm actually going to be over there as soon as this is over.
Just gonna say that.
In 5 minutes, we're going to be over in that one, sharing about my story, and my story about how I went from nowhere. Mine wasn't mine was a little different than yours, Carrie. You know why?
It's your journey.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I love that. But here's the funny thing. It's got the same types of outcomes. So if you
yeah.
guys want to get deeper, so it's a practice, a daily practice where we've detuned our transgressors. What that detune means is we have shifted how we see the things in our life that we used to see as being our trauma. We've learned how to appreciate life on in every aspect that you could possibly ever imagine, and we're a community that holds each other up high in order to be able to do that. So, um, I promised you guys at least 1 minute of seeing through the eyes of source, and I'm going to give it to you right now. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to post the Patreon chat, and then Carrie and I are going to be over there, and I'm going to be telling my story in our Patreon community. And let me tell you the reason real quick why we're doing this. The Patreon community is there so that we have a place to go that's not just on Facebook. It's really important that we're building community in other places, because as we know, nothing is ever permanent, but digital media. So,
Well, and I love the stream which David brings to us in its purest form, which is what I love so much about it. But the stream said too that social media is full of noise, and it truly is. And so Patreon gives us the community aspect without the noise of all the other social media going on, ads and those kind of things. So yes, You can join us. We're going to be live in Patreon in a few minutes. Debbie and I are going to continue this conversation. So
Oh, this is gonna be
love
fun.
that you're bringing this. This is my favorite meditation ever.
All
Thank
right, everybody. You are welcome, baby. Okay, a deep breath in, deep belly breath, and I want you to just sit back and relax. If you're driving, don't do it. Pull over to the side of the road. If you can, just close your eyes and here we go. I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. But I will tell you that you can listen to this. Kerry, it's in it. Well, Kerry can give you information. Just come on over to our Patreon and we'll finish answering questions. But you didn't hear anything? Oh.
you.
Well, I did. Sorry. I really, it was good. Trust
And
me.
you can find it on the website, thestreamofdavid.com.
That's where it's at, thestreamofdavid.com.
All the meditations are there. Uh, and
Yes,
I
that's
think,
it.
yeah,
And we are,
I need to get better at having those. Thank you for posting that, Debbie. All right. We will
well, we
see you.
tried. I tried. And so, yeah, go over to the website, but get over to Patreon. We got to go. We will
We got to
see you
go.
guys.
See
We'll
you
see
over
you on the
there.
flip.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.